All right, so moving on from simple interest, we have this concept called compound interest. Basically, this is what most savings accounts that you can set up will pay. My current savings account compounds or figures my interest every month. Once they figure that interest, they deposit it into my account. So starting the next month, I have more money than I did when I started the first month. So basically, when you have an account that pays compound interest, you're going to get interest paid on top of your interest, on top of your interest, on top of your interest. It earns you money quicker. Okay. So for this, you're going to need our simple interest formula, and you need to kind of be able to wrap your head around the fact that we're going to do this calculation over and over and over. um, this little graph I found kind of shows the idea of what's happening here. And if you look at it, the green part of the graph shows that an account with the same dollar amount, the same interest rate, the same amount of time, just how much faster it grows if the interest is compounded. So again, calculate it, add it onto the account, and then you calculate again, add into the account, calculate again. So two things that we need to talk about are the time frames for this, how often your interest is compounded or how often they calculate your interest. So when we did our simple interest formula, our time was always in years. So having our time in years and these two ideas of compounding your interest monthly and quarterly, we kind of need to talk about how that's going to convert into years. So if we compound monthly, that means at the end or beginning of every month, your interest is calculated. Your time, since it's in years, is going to be 1 month out of 12. So your time frame for your compounded interest for monthly is going to be 1/12. Quarterly. A lot of times you'll hear about businesses reporting their quarterly earnings. That means that every 3 months or 4 times a year, because there's 12 months in a year, your business or whatever is reporting their earnings. So for us, when we compound quarterly, we're going to compound 4 times a year. So our time is going to be 3/12 because there's 3 months in a quarter. Okay. For what you're doing today, for your homework and for this lesson, we're going to be doing quarterly calculations. All right, this is exactly what your homework looks like. This little table down here at the bottom, I just want to run through and show you guys how to do this. So we're starting an account with $1,000. That account earns 6% interest compounded quarterly. So that means that my time is going to be 3 months out of 12. So it's a yearly amount. So we just put this money in the account and we're going to leave it alone for a year. I want us to be able to calculate how much money Jamal has at the end of that year. So starting with the $1,000. Now, this little blank space right here, you guys don't necessarily have to fill this out when you do it in a table, but if you need to for your calculations, feel free. I set this up for my notes so you guys could see what was going on. So I'm starting with $1,000 at 6% interest for 3 months. Okay, so it is a simple interest calculation. We're just going to apply it to compound interest. So this is going to give me $15. So he earned $15 in interest just by leaving that money set in the account. So when I start the second calculation, my new balance is $1,015 because that $15 gets added in. So basically, the calculation that I do in the second blank line is the same as the first, but my initial amount is $1,015 instead of $1,000. So he's going to earn interest this time on top of the interest that he's already earned. So he's going to make a little bit more than $15 this go around. So $1,015, 6% interest for 3 months. This time around, he made $1,523 when I round that. I'm going to add that back on. So his new balance here is $1,030.23. And it's the same calculation again. 1,030.23 this time. 6% interest, 3 months. Okay, it's the same calculation over and over and over. It's just your dollar amount is changing. 1,030.23, 6% interest, 3 months. This time it is 1545. Okay, again, roll that back in. So our last calculation, he's going to have $1,045 $1,067.68. 6% interest, 3 months. His last quarterly interest earning is $1,569. Add that onto the $1,045. After a year of just sitting in the bank, not touching it, he has $1,061.37. So his money actually made him, the interest that he actually earned was $61.37. Now, for your homework, I have one problem just like this, different dollar amount, different percent, but you're just going to go through and fill out the column on the right here. Again, it's in a sheet, so the correct answers will turn green. If you want to use these blank spaces for your calculations, go for it.